First of all, I don't know.
A little over $10,000.
$10,000.
As a business owner, then take it from me. The results are real. Going through the course, I feel like Ricardo Jr. running around, and that's taught in the course as well.
Right, right.
His phone rings, his phone rings, his phone rings, and I'm staying busy now to the point to where there were days where I wouldn't have any job. Yeah, so the whole organic piece of it, where you're actually showing how to build that organic traffic. Really now, we're actually planning a trip this summer, 35,000.
Jeez. JunkGuysdfw.net, guys. This is Ricardo, and look, check it out. I'm in the new studio today, but I do have a guest, and today's guest is my boy Brandon from Lionheart Junk Removal. No, Hauling and Junk Removal. I always mess it up, don't I?
Lionheart Hauling and Junk Removal.
So, guys, this is the new studio. So, what do you think, man?
I think it's amazing. I was not expecting this.
And I want to tell everybody, the desk was free. The chairs were from a junk removal, of course.
Yep, of course.
Even the lighting in the background was from a junk removal.
Yeah, I saw the video on that.
So just everything that, that's one thing that I always tell people, use everything that you can when you're picking up junk, take advantage of it. You know what I mean? And I think this is something, we have a cool looking studio here. We're trying to make it seem like we're legit, So you're actually the first official guest in the studio, brother. How do you feel?
I feel extremely special.
Yeah, but the aura, man.
I feel like, well, I mean, could be out at a nightclub almost.
Anyway, guys, so we're going to talk about Lionheart Hauling and Junk Removal, how you started out. So give me a brief summary of how you started in the junk removal industry and your ups and downs. Give me a history, man. Tell me, talk to me, and then lead the story all the way until you met me. How about that?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, so been in business now going into my 14th month. Started off really slow, actually.
Really?
I remember the first marketing agency that contacted me was
Home Advisor?
Yes.
Trip Advisor?
Home Advisor.
Home Advisor, okay.
Home Advisor. And it seemed like a good deal. We're going to get you these leads and blah, 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 blah. And then I was getting leads, and I did do a couple of jobs on there, but what I noticed was the leads were costing about $52 per lead.
Holy cow.
And a lot of them would be like, I need my refrigerator removed. And I know you charge $45 for a refrigerator, I charge $55. So if you got a $52 lead fee with a $55 refrigerator, I mean, you just burn a little bit of gas and you're in the negative. And so that was happening. I would get, like a recliner chair and have to pay that.
And it was always $52, or what were the pricing around it?
That was the average.
Really?
Yeah. So I called him, and I had to speak to several different people trying to understand how they can make that price.
Right.
And I even asked them how much a contractor lead is, and they said $400. I'm like, well, they're going to do a bathroom for 10, 15 grand.
Right.
So that makes more sense. But unless we're landing a big job in the junk removal industry, then we're not going to profit, and you're going to have this continuous problem. And I got to the point to where I paid for it and I canceled it.
Right, and let me ask you this question. Did you ever feel that some of the jobs that you were getting were just, you noticed it and you're like, okay, I made $2,000 this week. Oh, wait a minute, I owe $1,800.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's the business cycle that they're running.
So started that, and then I went into, and I was like, okay, that's not working. Did a little bit more research, and this is me without a guide trying to figure it out myself.
So no, but you had no mentor, nothing?
No, nothing.
You just go balls out.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And so that's the whole risk of being an entrepreneur, is you got to try to figure it out yourself.
Right.
And so next step, okay, let's look into Google ads and different types of ads, Nextdoor, Facebook.
And do you remember how much you spent on Home Advisor? So give me a figure every time we're talking, okay? Give me a figure.
I cut them off pretty quick.
Uh-huh.
So I would say close to 1,000.
Okay.
And then not making much more than that when you factor in all the expenses associated with getting the leads.
Right.
Then went into the Google Ads section. Ran ads on Nextdoor. Ran ads on
Nextdoor
Facebook.
has ads.
Yes.
I had no idea.
You can pay either $120 or $240 a month. And I really didn't get anything off the ads, but my profile is still out there, and that's free just to have your profile out there.
And you get business off the free profile, right?
More than I did when I ran the ads for a month.
There's a misconception that when you start junk removal, you don't know, of course you don't know what you're doing, but then people start calling you, and then they take advantage of us. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned that lesson really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to the point to where people are asking, are you the business owner? And my wife is also a business owner, so I say, no, she's not available.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a way to get them off my back. But
so you're doing the Google ads.
Google ads. So Google ads, basically, obviously everybody knows how, or a lot of people know how Google ads work.
Right.
You got to set a budget, and there's a lot of complexity in the background on how you set your landing page and the keywords and the negative keywords and all that. Ran that for a couple of weeks, and I was getting some results, but I was also spending a lot of money. And then my ads got suspended.
Now, why did they suspend you?
So Google's very vague with suspension.
Yeah, of course, the explanation.
If you need to, if there's an issue with your website, it's almost like in computer code words, where it's really confusing.
And how many months are now you started in, I don't know when you started, so let's say it's
March of last year.
Okay, wow. And then how long did it take you for you to start on Google ads and then get suspended?
That was about 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
3 weeks after the ad suspended. And so.
And how much did you spend?
About $1,200.
And no mentor, no nothing. You're just going balls out again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to understand that part.
Suspended.
Right.
And then I started doing research on how to get unsuspended. And there's a bunch of videos out there, and you have to be able to provide a lot of information, and there's certain things like on the website, terms of service and privacy policy and all that stuff that I didn't have on there. I actually had to hire a company to get me unsuspended because it was so complex. Guess how much that cost? $3,500.
What?
$3,500 to get me unsuspended. But they said that they would run my ads for 2 months after that, if they were able to get me unsuspended. And they were quickly able to get me unsuspended, but it was expensive.
Yeah.
And that company was a Google partner.
Oh, man.
So it's kind of like a back door.
Yeah.
And
they're making money off you, and then they're making money off suspending you and then unsuspending you.
Right. And then the junk removal industry is such a niche that you get a marketing company that can get you unsuspended, and then they're going to run your ads. And then of course they're going to want to continue to run your ads. And I was still spending a lot of money and making money, but the actual profit, it didn't make sense.
So what do you think your profit was? What do you think your profit was? You were under 10%, 5%, 20%? What do you think it was? We can't say what it is now, but what it was then.
Yeah, so what it was then.
Or maybe you don't even know.
Yeah.
Let's just throw a ballpark out there.
Going back that far.
Ballpark out there.
Going back that far. I remember calculating everything for a week where I was over 1,000 in the week, but the actual profit was around $250. $250. So that's a lot of money going out for not.
You're putting wear and tear on your vehicle, wear and tear on your trailer. You're making payments on your truck, and then only $250 is coming in. That sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Dang.
It does.
Yeah. Okay. So then what happened?
And so I actually started kind of playing with the ads myself because I got rid of that company.
Right.
And their ads were there, and so I was kind of playing with it myself. I got it to where I wasn't spending as much money, but I was still spending too much money.
Right.
And so I was kind of going through that cycle. And then I kind of got into like a mode where I was kind of depressed a little bit. And kind of
your ads were depressed, or personally you were
personally.
Oh shit.
Like I'm trying to figure this out. Right. This isn't working, that's not working, that's not working. Watching YouTube videos, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then the phone rings all of a sudden, and what I had done was I took some of my flyers, put them out on the mailboxes throughout the neighborhoods. A couple of contractors reached out, worked out some deals where they used me exclusively. So, it's not necessarily free, but it was cheap, and I liked that part of it. And so I was doing a little bit of kind of like the old school way of going about
guerrilla marketing.
Right, get the business. Going, hitting the streets, doing all that.
Right.
But still, I still wasn't happy with the results. I liked the work, but I still wasn't happy with the results.
As a small business, this is your livelihood. This is your family on the line. This is your truck. Dude, I know where you're coming from, bro. Right. I know where you're coming from. So this like depression thing, I can imagine your bills are piling up. You're still paying them, but then you're like, how am I going to do it next week? How am I going to do it next month? How am I going to? And I'm going to have to grind out and pay Thumbtack. I'm going to have to Google Words. So I know what you're feeling, dude.
Right.
I've been there at one time. You know what I mean? I've been there.
If your pricing's right, you don't have it built in to pay Google ads and Facebook ads and all that. It's not built in.
So you're watching YouTube. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then when do you come across my videos?
So I came across your videos, I would say about 4 months ago.
Okay.
And was watching them a lot. And then I saw that you were advertising that you were going to do a webinar. And so I got onto that webinar and you were just saying, hey, I want to check out, if there's junk removal companies on here, just type up your website address.
I remember this.
I was like.
So here's what happened, guys. So about a couple of months ago, right? It was a couple of months ago, I did a webinar. And on the webinar, I'm like, hey, guys, send me your website. I'll take a look at it and tell you what's wrong with it, right? Is this the first time I looked at your website, right? And for some reason, your website looked identical to what I was talking about.
Right.
So you had already taken some of the lessons from my YouTube channel and implemented it? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. My prices were on the website.
Yeah, I know the prices. Well, I looked at the price. I'm like, this guy's only $5 off here, $10. And I'm like, okay. The great thing is you were transparent on your website. You're being honest. You were showing the people, this is what I charge, and here's my website. And then I made a comment while I'm looking at your website, and I remember this. I said, bro, your front page doesn't look right. You need a picture with you and your truck and your trailer. That's what you need. And then you commented back, what?
Click on the homepage.
What was I looking at?
It was
like the checkout page.
So you were going through to see what page I would pop up on.
Yeah.
And my Book Now page popped up.
Yeah.
Not my main website page.
So I'm giving them a hard time, and I'm telling you, it doesn't come up. It doesn't look good, and I'm giving you a hard time. You say, and then I see you type in something. Hey, check out the homepage, and I'm like, what? And when I click on the web page, there you are with your truck, hands on your side, and your truck and trailer, just like I tell people to do it. So you were actually following what I said.
Right. But the part I didn't execute because I didn't know this knowledge yet is the fact that I've got everything listed, all my services listed, but you can't click on that and go into a dedicated page for trampoline removal, or house clean out,
satellite dish, hoarder house, right,
yeah.
So you're still working on your website right now?
Yeah, still.
Right. And how many single items? This is a technique that I've always used. I've used the website and I just want to let you know, websites don't rank. It's pages that rank on Google. I don't know, okay? So
that actually makes sense why the Book Now popped up.
See what I'm saying? So a lot of people have always thought, oh, my website's not ranking. No, brother, it's what you're typing in is not ranking. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Junk removal or satellite dish. If your page shows up, you're ranking on satellite dish removal. So you implemented that, and you saw one of my videos. Which video was it? Do you remember what it was?
You're talking about a YouTube video?
Yeah.
I've seen so many of them now.
You were watching all my videos.
Right.
And you were just going down the rabbit hole. Any video that really stood out?
There was a lot of hoarder houses that I liked watching those. There was a lot of dramatics when you're dealing with a lot of the things you deal with in a hoarder house. Yeah. And I'm thinking in my head the whole time, this guy's doing hoarder houses all the time. He's doing hot tubs all the time. He's always doing everything that I haven't done a hoarder house at this point in time. I've only done 2 hot tubs at this point in time.
And what changed?
Going through you allowed me to beta test your course.
And you started implementing. We haven't talked about that. Let me lead us into that, okay?
Okay.
Guys, I have designed a curriculum education course, and I decided to let you look at it and test it out. And you've been testing out, 3 weeks now? Mm-hmm. So in the 3 weeks, and I'm going to let you explain this. I don't want to coach you up on this, but explain what's happened to your business and what the course has done for you. Because I put 15 years experience on this. It took me over 3 months just pack it in there. 100 videos, and it's just full of curriculum.
Something I want to preface it with is I did a ride along with you, and that's something that you offer. And I was like, let me see if this guy is legit. And so we do a ride along.
Oh shit!
I'm thinking I'm just going to help you out with the piano removal, and then the phone rings, and then your phone, not mine. His phone rings, his phone rings, his phone rings, and the next thing I know, it's 3 o'clock, and we've done 5 jobs, and then you gave me 4 jobs, because those came through.
I did 6 that day with you.
6.
6, and then gave you 4. Yeah, we kept on losing track.
Yeah.
and then I gave you 4.
Right.
So after we were done, and we were done at 4:00.
Yeah.
And you went and did those, but I mentioned, that's when I mentioned to you, hey, I got a beta program. Exactly. I want you to test it out.
Exactly.
And because you kept on asking me the whole time we were driving, hey, how do you get all these jobs? How do you get the jobs? And I decided to let you know, I'm going to let you test it out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
And one of the reasons that I decided to let Brandon test it out is because, first of all, he was a ride-along. He seemed like a great guy, but he was smart. He also knew what he wanted from his business. And I immediately reached out to him and I said, the next day, I told him, hey, immediately, bro, here's the password, log in and check it out. And now tell me what you thought of the program.
So whenever you go to work for a corporation, you always get assigned a trainer, training. You got to get through all the training, and then you usually have somebody that you can go to as a mentor. When you're starting your own business, you don't have that. Just like when I started my junk removal business, that wasn't there. And so going through this course, as I'm going through modules and learning that here's the history of junk removal. I didn't even know the history of junk removal.
And I think you reached out to me about that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I thought that was really cool to actually learn the history of junk removal. And then going through the setups, and I'm looking at my truck and trailer, and I'm like, this is totally wrong. This trailer is hurting me because I'm going to the landfill 3 times a day now because I've implemented a lot of things in the course. But that setup is completely not accurate. Paying for all these leads is not the way to go, even though there's a lot of people on YouTube that say that's the way to go.
And you know, those people have that misunderstanding, brother. Yeah. They just got into it and they're throwing that stuff in their face. And that's another thing that I try to explain that in the course, is that you start a junk removal business and people are just throwing stuff at you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so the whole organic piece of it, where you're actually showing how to build that organic traffic. And I've even searched from my computer at home, which is an hour away from here, which is totally different zip code, hot tub removal. And you got, the ads, and then JunkGuysdfw, and it says $350 hot tub. The price is right there on the page. You don't even have to click it. And I'm like, how is he doing this? But going through the course, I know exactly
how I do it. Now you know.
I know exactly. And so, the Google My Business, I'm putting pictures up, postings at least once a day. I'm working on my website to get those pages, those dedicated pages. Started a YouTube channel. Working on other things. There's a lot more in social media where you get free profiles to be able to set up, and you don't have to pay money for it. Yeah, you can run an ad, but you don't have to run the ad.
And if you take the course, you're not supposed to pay.
Right.
One of the things I wanted to explain to you, how did you see an increase? I know it was only 3 weeks, but immediately I did notice your website changed. It started changing and evolving. Did you see the course as like a mentor? Did you see something like that?
Absolutely. 100%. That's exactly what it is. So it's taking you through the junk removal process of owning your own business. And it's 15 years of experience from basically the king of junk removal in Dallas. And I can vouch for that because I did a ride along. I've seen the results. I've gone through the course. And my wife made the comment last week. She was like, you're really busy all of a sudden. And I'm like, well, Ricardo's creating a monster over here. And it's all because of the course and the teachings and the learnings and implementing those, and a lot of them are very simple. You don't have to sit there and try to figure out a complex way to run your ads on Google Ads. I'm staying busy now to the point to where there were days where I wouldn't have any jobs, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just take a day off. And if there happens to be a day where I have it off, which is pretty, I'm going like 6-7 days a week now.
I called you Saturday and you were working. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And normally you told me you didn't work on Saturdays. I'm like, what's going on, dude?
Working all day too. So staying very busy. That's something that my wife has noticed, and it's definitely impacted my life, her life, our life financially in a positive way.
Are you saying the course did this to you?
Yes.
100%.
Oh yeah.
And you've seen that increase?
I have. Yeah.
We're
going from about 1,000, 1,200 a week to 4,500 a week.
That fast?
Yeah.
The course, when I was designing the course, I wanted to make it for the newcomer, Brandon. I wanted to make it for the person that just started out. But then as I'm designing and creating this course, I also wanted to include people that have been doing this for a year, for 2 years. And then I said, wait a minute, how about the people who've been doing it for 5 years? But how about the people that have been doing it for 5 years and spending money on leads? Spending money on SEO was a huge deal to me, and that's when I implemented the organic traffic, the website design. Talk to me about that part, because you mentioned this earlier to me, and I want you to express how that is and how it helped you out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So whenever I would turn my ads on or tweak my ads, I would kind of pay attention, and when the phone would ring, I'd always ask, "Where'd you hear about me from?" And then, they would say Google. But when you're not running ads and the phone's ringing, you know where it's coming from. Right. Because I'm not on a lot of platforms, but I'm working on getting on more.
Right.
But being able to see the phone ring and ring and ring without me spending money to create
Isn't that crazy?
To cause it to ring. Yeah,
it's crazy.
You're updating your website, you're updating Google My Business.
Yeah.
And working on, I'm working on YouTube, working on other social media platforms. Mm-hmm. And that's, all the stuff I learned from the course. And I can't tell you how many times going through the course, I'm learning things and I think back and I'm thinking, for example, the truck and trailer. That's why I'm in a spot where I'm going to the landfill 3 times a day. Right. Because the trailer's too small, the setup's too small. And it's like if I would have
seen... It's a baby trailer.
If I would have seen this course when I started, it would have saved me so much pain and headache.
So your trailer...
I can't even tell you. Yeah. So much.
So your trailer was, cost you what? $14,000? Well, tell me how much your trailer was, first of all. I don't know.
A little over $10,000.
$10,000. Mm-hmm. So... And you have a great looking truck. Your truck's beautiful, man. And if you would have seen my course and spent the money on my course, of course you would have saved a lot more. But tell me how much you would have saved on a trailer. Just seeing my course right now, how much would you have paid for a trailer?
About $2,000.
You would have saved $8,000.
$1,500, $2,000.
$2,000 on a used trailer too.
Yeah, 16-foot
flatbed. Yep. Flatbed. And you see me on all my videos. Listen, guys, I'm always driving around in a 16-foot flatbed or my box truck. I'm doing it the Ricardo way, but it's actually the profit way.
Right.
The profitable.
And I remember asking, "Don't you have to hand unload all this stuff?" And you said, "Yeah. What's the problem with that?"
Yeah.
And I've actually hand unload before.
Yeah.
And it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's not.
And I when people ask me that at the landfill, they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're the junk guy, you're Ricardo. Why are you wanting hand loading?" And I'm like, "Because I hand loaded it." How did yours get loaded?
Hand
loaded.
Exactly.
They loaded it by hand, so now I'm unloading it by hand. You know what I mean?
Right.
The course, were you overwhelmed by the course with all the 100+ videos?
No, it's actually easy to go through. The videos are, as far as the length of each video, it's not super long. You don't click on the next video and you got 45 minutes. You got 5 to 10 minutes. Just kind of depending. Some are a little bit longer because they're bigger topics, and they deserve a little bit longer. But you can get through it and get through it to the point where you feel like you're actually getting progress. You're making progress, and at the same time you're learning. And if I would have had this when I started, then I could only imagine where my company would be now, 14 months in, as opposed to just taking what I learned from the course and applying it, and then seeing the results I'm seeing just in a short period of time. Right. We're talking like 6 weeks.
So let's say I go back, we have a DeLorean. You're Michael J. Fox, I'm Doc Brown. We go back in time, right? And I give you the courses.
I'm taller though.
You're way taller. Well, you're Doc Brown. I'll be Michael J. Fox. Okay. So I give you the course the first week you start out. Okay. Mm-hmm. How much money will you save 14 months later?
Probably 30, 35,000.
Jeez.
And yeah. And we're talking running Google ads. We're talking paying $3,500 to get the ads unsuspended, and we're talking about thumbtack, and we're talking about spending $10,000 on a trailer and all the gas that goes into pulling a 4,000-pound trailer, and so on and so forth.
Wow. When Brandon, when I had the idea to start this curriculum and the lectures and even the guest lectures, the guest professors on our lecture, me reaching out and talking to them and telling them to be on the course, I was thinking in my head, am I going to change lives? Am I going to change the people's mentality, And every video I was doing, I would doubt myself, and then as I kept on and I passed the 20 mark of videos and then the 30 mark of videos, and these are weeks, and weeks are going by now. And about 40 weeks, 40 videos, 3 weeks later, I'm thinking in my head, this is going to change the way people run business. This is going to change SEO. This is going to change the way people look at their business and spend money. How did this change your life? And how, two questions, two-part question. How did it change your life? And what can you tell, look at the camera when you say that, what can you tell to a new business owner jumping in this industry?
If you're a new business owner jumping into this industry, do not make the same mistakes that I made and try to maneuver your way through it and try to figure it out. Just think about that example. You go start a new job, you're in training for however long, and then you've got a mentor that helps you out until you develop to be able to become successful at that workplace. With this, being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, you don't have a mentor. You have to figure it out on your own. But now there is a way to have a mentor. And going through it after being in business for a year and struggling, wondering if this is actually going to work out, to how far can I go now after learning everything from the course. So within about 6 weeks, I went from $1,000, $1,200, sometimes I get that occasional $2,000 a week. And I'd be like, okay, one of these days I'll get a $2,500 a week.
Right.
And then now we're hitting $4,000, $4,500 a week.
Dang.
And so that's a huge positive impact that I've been able to see. And when I view my business now, it's in a positive light because I feel like I have power now.
Yeah.
Over the business, and I'm not trying to figure out how to make it successful.
I laid the blueprint.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember 3 weeks ago, I had called you up and we went and did a big job, and it was like a $1,500 job, and then you looked at me and said, I've never done a job over $1,000. How many jobs have you done over $1,000 in the last few weeks now?
3.
That quick? You answered that quick?
Yeah.
You know the answer already?
Yeah.
Because it's in the top of your head already.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, give me a percentage of how much the curriculum, the lectures helped you out on that.
100%.
All of it.
I mean, I gained some knowledge as I was trying to figure it out.
Right.
On, how to price and all that stuff. But to be able to get the big jobs, you have to start ranking higher, and to get the phone to ring for jobs like that. And you have to post content associated with that. And so, I mean, it literally happened that quick.
Wow. So let's talk about a company that's been doing this for 5 years, and the owner has an ego problem, right? And doesn't want to listen to anybody. Talk to that person right now. Talk to that guy that has that ego problem, that he knows what he's doing because he's running Facebook ads and he's found that magic.
Did you know what you were doing at 5 years?
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Because you're 15 years in.
Yeah.
So if somebody that's 5 years in and they're spending a bunch of money on ads when they don't really have to,
right,
they could learn that from somebody who's been doing it 10 years longer than them. And it's not just the number that's impressive, but it's me going out with you in one day on my first time with you, and it's over $1,500, and I'm just like, it's just like a whirlwind to me. And I'm just like,
how much did we make that day?
This is possible? Yeah. Well, I think yours was $1,500, and then the 4 jobs you gave me was like $600 or $700.
Golly,
do the math.
I got lazy.
If somebody's got an ego problem, there's everything I wish I knew I learned in that course, and all the mistakes I knew I made were called out, and the reasons why, the background, and the way that you should be operating your business. So, if you're 5 years, 10 years in, and you're struggling and you're not really sure as a business owner, then take it from me. The results are real. Going through the course, I feel like Ricardo Jr. running around now.
That's funny, except you're way taller than me, dude. And I'm tall. How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4". Golly, I feel so small around you. I appreciate you testing out the course. I really do, and the input and agreeing to this interview, because it was really important to me that. I told you, hey man, enjoy the course, be honest, be transparent to my people on Facebook and my people on YouTube, and just be honest with them and tell them what you thought of the course, because there is a lot of people out there on the Facebook groups they're out there teaching you how to do SEO, charging you, you know? There's people out there, hey, I know how to run ads. I know how to do this. And there's people out there even with on TikTok and on Facebook and YouTube trying to tell you, hey guys, I figured it out how to run ads. How to run ads. And newcomers jump at that.
Yeah.
You know, newcomers jump at that. What do you think about those ads and those fake things now that you took my course?
That was complete garbage, unnecessary. Unnecessary. Yeah, there's ways, and this is more that I learned in the course. All the free platforms out there. Now there is Craigslist, which is $5 a post.
Oh, that's nothing.
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 Nothing. And it works.
It works.
You post on there.
It still works to this day.
Yeah.
And I built my business with Craigslist.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that I did go into when I was trying to figure everything out that I did realize worked, and so I did continuously post on there, and that helped a little bit, but there's also a certain way to post on there, and that's taught in the course as well.
Right. Anything that you don't want to say on the course, on the curriculum that we offer with the lectures that maybe that your little secret sauce. Was there anything that you saw on the course, on the program and the curriculum that we offer that maybe you could talk about right now?
I think I want to keep that to myself because I feel like there's a lot of strategies in there that I don't want to put out there,
right?
Because I'm taking so much advantage of it.
Not even a little sneak peek? No. Just keep it to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm being selfish.
Okay. I understand. And I want to end this with this. Talk about your lifestyle now, man. Now that you've finished the course, you've looked through it.
I'm staying extremely busy, which is what I wanted, and what I knew could take place in the junk removal business that I learned in going through the course is actually manifesting. And so I'm staying extremely busy, which is what I wanted. And then that in turn turns into not having to worry about bills being paid, not having to worry about the grocery bill, because every time you go to the grocery store, I mean, the bill is just absolutely insane.
It's so expensive.
You got a family to provide for, and there's bills coming in from every angle, and I'm doing jobs from every angle, whether it's hot tubs or house clean outs. Had a house clean out today. Had another job after that, picking up construction debris.
Right.
And so being able to do that and not spend money to generate those leads, and having that knowledge that A to Z, 15 years from you and your course. Really now we're actually planning a trip this summer.
Yeah.
We're going to go visit some friends. It doesn't sound glamorous, but up in Kansas City for a week.
Are you going to be a Chiefs fan, brother?
No.
You son of...
No.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
What about a secondary team?
No.
Okay.
This is okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
so you're going to take a vacation.
Yeah, so we're going to see some friends that I haven't seen. We haven't seen them in like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It would be nice to go to the beach, but I kind of want to stay out of the heat because, working in junk removal, you're in the heat.
You're cooking out there.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And one of my main goals is to pay down debt. I don't want to have any debt. And since I've been able to see the results so quickly and where I'm at, and I'm working on my setup, that's going to be changed, continuing to work on my website, continuing to build according to everything I learned in the course. I know I can get to the point to where I've got no credit card debt, the truck's paid off.
That's awesome.
Start working on paying the house off.
That's great.
And I know I can get there.
That's awesome. And you were mentioning, I don't want to bring this up and beat a dead horse, but you mentioned something about being depressed when you first started out, and then you were spending money, and then how has that turned out?
Yeah, so started off excited, throwing money at it.
And working.
Yeah, working. And then knowing that, okay, that $100 job, I spent $120 in ads, or $200 in ads. So you're in the negative. And then you deal with enough of that, and you get depressed.
Yeah.
And that's when a business owner could be like, you know what, I'm just going to start applying for a job. But fought through it, and then finally was able to get the knowledge that I should have had from the beginning. And that's through the course.
That's awesome.
100%.
So it's changed your lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And I thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you, brother. 15 years. When I started 15 years ago, I can see myself sitting across where you're at and remember those hard times. And of course, they weren't selling me ads. There was no Thumbtack and Home Advisor. It took a turn of the wheel of sitting there on the toilet in my office, which I call the toilet in my office, and reading these books about SEO and how to design a website. And then 15 years later, I put my whole life of junk removal and everything I learned into a curriculum program, and we call it the University of Junk Removal, which you beta tested for us. By the way, there's about 10 more videos you didn't get to see because we just added 10 more bonus videos.
Oh, nice.
to it. Yeah. So I just want to tell you, I appreciate you coming out here. You're the first one in the studio. Thank you so much for being my guest. And guys, I'm going to leave y'all with that. Don't forget, guys, check out the University of Junk Removal. You can actually find that on my Facebook page. You can find that on my YouTube page and all the social medias that I am associated with. And I will mention you also on all my social media.
Yeah.
Is that cool with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
100%.
All right, cool.
Oh, that's SEO right there.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Don't forget, if you like these videos, subscribe to my channel and tell your friends, your best friend, your cousin's roommate from Nevada. Let everybody know about that. And thank you very much again, Brandon. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you,
so much.
Ricardo.
Anytime.